Hello and welcome to the Imagine AI Live podcast. I'm your host for this event, Chêrénique, and we are here on site in New York City of our first Impact event. I have with me a very special guest, Gord. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so can you please introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about what you're working on?
So my name is Gordon Pither. I had a long journey in technology for many decades, and I currently working in healthcare, and I've been a project manager, change management, and in the AI world, what I see at least is an opportunity for some real disrupting type of ways in which technology can transform organizations, teams, and most importantly, individuals. So I kind of was thinking about what I would think about talking about today, and I think really this is the time for the generalists. I think for people who are generalists who like to connect dots and seemingly unconnected and distant elements of things to be able to create something new and disrupt. And the AI world is allowing for tools to be done in a way which is affordable and easy to fail within small scale, learn from it, and then eventually launch and deploy solutions.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And how did you get connected with the Imagine AI Live community?
I actually can't remember. Sometime in February of this year, and I said this is worthwhile going to Las Vegas for. My wife is in finance. She decided to come along also as a delegate, and I brought an information architect out of the Vancouver area as well that I've been working with at the University of British Columbia on Microsoft and 365 World, and he brought his family, and one of his 15-year-old son was there, and then that was so inspiring. Came back, and then when Steve I kept on evolving a little bit more of my practice around information governance, AI governance, privacy, and data ownership. And then I heard about how quickly this was having to be launched in July rather than an annual conference, that the world is changing so quickly in this area, and knew that I had to continue to keep up with. It's not a finishing line. It's basically it's having to keep ahead of the curve. And on that curve, because if you stay still right now, somebody else is going to do something better.
Yeah. So we're here on a college campus.
Yep.
And you've mentioned your experience in the tech world and the different things that you've worked on. What advice would you give to students who are going into university about integrating and implementing AI and tech into their studies?
I think that don't be afraid to try. That anything that there's no bad question. There's no wrong thing to ask or wrong thing to attempt to do. This is really about reaching out and connecting two or more elements of a system or process or an idea to actually then create something. I came away from Las Vegas with Lightwork Studios. LTX was one of the presenters there, and was just amazed at the ability for synopsises and creation of ideas into audiovisual presentations and such. Today I saw the same thing with written content with Grokbook. And that's 4 months difference, I guess, and the ability for students to just not be afraid to try anything and to ask, why not instead of asking why.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question to pose. What about those that are already in the workforce? What advice would you give to them about implementing AI and using it?
And know that it's a nascent technology at the moment. It's very early on, I think. I've lived through the internet and on-prem versus cloud and all of that type of stuff. Organizations and workforces change a lot slower than the technology solutions that are being presented right now and being offered. I think that expectation alignment from top to bottom within an organization down to individuals and working groups and teams is very important. So you have to have clarity around what your short and medium term deliverables may be or what your milestones are, and knowing that it's kind of like an intern. I mean, I likened it, it's like an intern. It's not going to come back with the right answer the first time. You have to nudge it. You have to coax it and cajole it. And you have to get it to know what you're after and what someone said in a workshop earlier today, what you don't want. Once you tell it or train it to ignore certain things, it'll start to speak in ways which you can understand and deliver things that are, I'll say, relevant to you, right? Yeah, context.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to give it context so it can give you something to your context.
Yep. I heard one of the speakers here today at the first Imagine AI live event was talking about how we're a black box to the AI. So we need to give it that input so we can get back what we want, just like what you were saying. And that changed my thinking about it. It's good advice.
Yeah, and I think there's a conventional cartoon from, 20 years ago where that mysterious IT department that was in the back room of an organization, they'd come out, they'd do some discovery, they'd interview you, then they'd say, yeah, we think we know what you want. They'd come back, and your world has changed by the time they took 6 months or 2 years to develop something. And what you wanted was that simple tire swing, and they tried to give you iterations that were 3 tiers and that. And so if you look at that cartoon, what that does as far as AI is concerned, I think, is provide crushed time to deliver and put into the hands of the subject matter experts. So that intermediary process and resource sucking development and design is now in the hands of the person who needs to just curate it 1 or 2 steps away from being deployed and delivered to be that solution for the time being. And then it'll be iterative, right? Yeah.
Do you have any fears or concerns about the future of AI?
Not from AI itself. For those that, I think the danger is more around how it may be applied. And that, therefore, is within the hands of other humans. So AI, I think, is best coupled with HI, right? Human intelligence and artificial intelligence together can provide really great opportunities. The intent of those opportunities, which will come mostly from the human side of things, will be the differentiator between, I think, opportunity and more fearsome type of things, or things to fear. Yeah. Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, what are your hopes for the future of AI and how it progresses?
I like the democratization that it's providing for people who in the past probably or currently have been either dismissed or ignored or just haven't had the same resource-based opportunities. So accessibility, like it's almost like physical or emotional disabilities. When you give someone a tool who is, say, physically or mentally afflicted, when you provide them a tool, that disability becomes not as existent and not as much of a barrier. So AI, I believe, provides for community and social change in the hands of individuals who don't have to lead so much with their pocketbook in technology solution delivery. They can actually afford to lead with their heart and their head. And I think that's a very important way to get that positive catalyst for good change and empowerment from individuals to working groups to communities to neighborhoods to cultures. Yeah.
And how do you use AI in your daily activities or work or even personal projects?
So it's been around for quite a while in various forms. I like to engage, I like to talk. I am a terrible writer as far as I've always worked from the bottom up. I started as a developer and a business analyst, and so it's always been about the detail. So being able to summarize something has always been my kryptonite. And the ability for me to spew my thoughts and then ask for, here's my target audience, make me sound as if I'm one of them, that allows me to use it as a partner to get to the message that needs to be delivered. That's a big thing for me in business and in events like this. And I think that obviously some of the things I've seen today, I know I'll be using new tools starting tonight. Some of the technology as compared to the more popular mainstream press type of promoted or just those type of products.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you today.
Yep.
If somebody is watching this and they're debating on attending the next Imagine AI live event, what would you say to them?
Don't hesitate. You have to know that for your own good, and mostly probably to expand your own boundaries, don't hesitate. To come here is to invest in yourself, and to invest in your family, and probably to invest in your profession and your community. It's more than worthwhile. It is time well spent. It's energy well spent, and things that I learned from Las Vegas in 2 days. You only need a couple of threads from that to know that this was worthwhile for me to travel from Vancouver to New York and take a red eye. And again, don't hesitate, regardless of your age. That's the other thing I want to say. Doesn't matter about your background or your age or your education. All of this is available for you to actually get a hold of, and that's very powerful.
Yeah, wow. Great words there. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for sitting down to talk with me. I will let you get back to the event and enjoy the rest of what's in store.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Imagine.